Big baller episode. We got my brother Melvin Ejim, Augustin legend, Iowa State legend, overseas legend. I know you're a busy man, so I appreciate you giving the time. How's it, man?
No problem, man. Everything's been good, man. I've been blessed. I'm fortunate to be where I'm at right now in my life, and I'm just trying to enjoy the best that I can and take care of my family in the process. So
So you're playing ball in Spain right now for Unicaja, but you've got busy in Italy, one there, Montenegro, one there, Slovenia, one there. So you've done your rounds. What is the atmosphere like playing in Europe?
it's cool, man. Obviously, different places, different countries, different clubs have different support, fan engagement, different stuff. But you know, I've been to a couple places where the atmosphere has been amazing. I think like comparable or even better in some places too. Some places in North America. Obviously, I went to Iowa State. I think we have one of the best uh, atmospheres in college basketball, and so when we have games that I feel rival what was going on at Iowa State, I think it's pretty impressive. But yeah, I've been in some really high, huge games. I played at Red Star when there was amazing atmosphere. Played here even in Spain. We had a game I think the other night against Real Madrid. It was full. It
Mhm.
was packed, crazy atmosphere. Um, and yeah, Europe has been great. I think the fans have a deeper, different type of appreciation for basketball. You have Spain where they're really educated fans, so they clap and cheer for certain different things. They influence the referees, different things like that. And then you have other places where the fans are more just supporting their team. You know what I mean? They're no matter what happens, they don't care what happens. They're just there to support their team. But it's been amazing. It's been great. I've been to a lot of, blessed to be a lot of different places. And I enjoy it. I think that they just have a real deep passion for these teams, and I think it's a little different than it is anywhere else in the world.
Mhm. You mentioned Iowa State. So your alma mater, they just won the Big 12 tournament. So they
Yeah.
got that automatic bid into March Madness. They beat Houston in the final, 69-41, a team that eats, breathes, and sleeps defense. How far do you think this team can go? Because it's a special group. They went undefeated at home. What do you think their ceiling is?
Yeah, I think they're really talented. I mean, as much as Houston is known for their defense and the way they play, I think Iowa State is being viewed in that same scope. Their defense has been amazing. When they get going, when they can find offense, and when they're playing as well as they are right now, I think they can beat anyone in the country. And they're hot right now. They're playing with momentum. They have confidence. They have depth. They have guys that can really play. And like you said, they defend, man. They really defend. So I think that I don't want to say anything crazy. I really hope that they go far. And I think they have the potential to go really far. But they're a talented team, and I really enjoy watching them. And I think that they've got a great chance.
Yeah, during your time there, you played with a ton of great players, Georges Niang, Monte Morris, DeAndre Kane, Naz Mitchell Long. Y'all won a lot together there. What would you say was your most proudest moment as a Cyclone on the court?
I mean, it would definitely be winning the Big 12, just like these guys did. It's an incredible feeling. They're going to get to look back on it. For me, it's 10 years now looking back, and still people remembering that moment. Still people, thinking back of how great, we played, we did for the university, and looking back fondly on those memories. So, yeah, as a team, I think that was one of the best things that we've done, that we did, and one of my proudest moments, because it was just, for me, it was 4 years of trying to achieve something great for our university, and it took me all 4 years. And then my last year, I was able to play at a really great level, help my team win, do something that hadn't been done in a number of years, and really help put our team back in that I think national contention, and that where we thought it could be. We made a place for ourselves, and winning that Big 12, I think, was a big way to just it was just a gratifying moment for us, for people who put the work in, and then for the young guys coming in, like you mentioned, George, Naz, Monte Morris, Matt Thomas. Those guys went on the next couple of years to win a couple more, and they started the trend. And I think within the last 10 years, I think Iowa State has won the Big 12 maybe, I don't know, I want to say 5 or 6 times. So it's just been a huge momentum, a huge culture shift. And I was really happy and fortunate to be a part of that. That was a really, really cool experience.
And it's not like y'all are in no sus conference either, because
The
most
Big 12 always been.
most the most teams are from the Big 12, a tie with I think maybe SEC. But even back in your times, it was the most teams always getting sent from that conference, super competitive, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the Big 12 is just really competitive. They have a lot of great teams, and I think that the style of play is a little bit different from other leagues. I mean, at least it used to be when I was playing. The Big 12 always been tough. They have great coaches, great atmospheres, great colleges. So it doesn't surprise me that they've always been in one of the leaders in teams getting into the tournament. But I'm excited the direction the Big 12 is going in, and with adding in a couple of these new teams, I think it's going to make the league even better. So, yeah, I think they've been doing a great job, and I hope Iowa State will continue to be, front runners in that league.
Yeah, you had a successful career at Iowa State, and you saved the best for last. Senior year, you won Big 12 Player of the Year, and there was a specific game. I'm pretty sure you know the game I'm talking about, where you dropped 48 points against TCU, which still is standing as the record for most points in a single game, Big 12 history, tied with Trae Young. You were unstoppable that night. You couldn't be stopped. Everything was dropping for you. Was there a point in that game where you knew it was your night?
I mean, not really. I mean, I think I go into the games kind of just trying to do whatever a team needed me to win. And I think at one point I looked up and I had like 20 points. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm having a good game. Things are going well. I looked up again. And I was like, I got 29. I was like, dang, I'm really hooping. And then I looked up. I'm like 30. So I'm like, dang, all right, okay, like shoot. I'm shooting the next one I get. And kind of guys kept feeding me. And I kept kind of, I just kept scoring. Obviously, I had a lot of dunks that game, a couple shots, got to the basket. So my team were really feeding me a lot. They seen that I was hot, and they kind of let me go with that momentum. And my coach, let me in. Obviously, it was a close game for a bit. So, there was a reason for me to be in. A lot of times when guys have certain points, coaches can take them out, or the games be blowouts and stuff. But we were still competitive. But honestly, I think I had so much guys who were, who wanted me to succeed, and my teammates really were just, I think as a team we really embraced that. It could be anybody's night, and they really just, I think, were a big part of that success in that night because they really fed me. I made some shots, I made some dunks, I got it going, and they really seen that, and they fed the hot hand, and they were supportive. So a lot of credit to them. But yeah, it was a great night. No particular moment when I was like, yo, this is my night. But I kind of just was working, kept my head down. And when I looked up, I was like, wow, like I'm doing something pretty special. And when the fans started chanting my name, I knew that I had done something pretty remarkable.
I don't know if you've met Ice Trey, but have y'all, kicked back, drank some wine, reflected on that points record? Because it's still standing till this day.
Yeah, no, I have never met him. I remember watching the game when he tied it. I do think that his might have a little asterisk because he got his in overtime and mine was in the regular time. But needless to say, if I do ever get to meet him, it'll be something we'll talk about. And I think that it's great. I mean, the fact that we're both up there, I think is an amazing accomplishment. He's gone on to score way more points, have a lot of great games. A great player in his own right. But it's something that I'm proud of. It's something that it's my own little piece of Big 12 history, and yeah, something I'll definitely never forget.
Yeah, and you were the first to get it too. Okay, so you got the scholarship to Iowa State, but I'm sure there are other schools that you are considering, were there like a specific amount? Like, what were the biggest schools that you were like, you know what, maybe I may want to go there? But I know Iowa State obviously got your commitment, but like, yeah, what are some other schools that had interest in your services?
I mean, Iowa State was definitely the first school, and they were definitely the one that recruited me the hardest, and that was
Mm.
kind of something that kind of separated them from the other schools that were in kind of contention. I was always, academics was always really important for me. So when at the time I was really considering a lot of the Ivy League schools. I had offers from I think literally every Ivy League school, and I also had some to like Butler, NC State. I can't remember, man. So it's a while back. We're talking 14 years back.
Yeah.
And I think there was a couple other schools that were like I thought, potentially I could be interested in, but Iowa State really my relationship that I built with TJ, the Big 12 conference being, I felt like a conference that was somewhere that forwards and bigs could kind of thrive in. I felt like I mentioned earlier, there's certain leagues that were like orientated to certain type of play styles. I felt like the Big East was real guard heavy. It was fast game. It was somewhere where guards can go off. I felt like the Big Ten was really slow, grounded out, big guys and small guards, and that was a kind of opportunity for them. And for me, the Big 12 looked like a place where it was for kind of everyone can kind of get in. There was a little transition. I seen a lot of forwards doing well. And Craig Bracken said someone who went to my high school, Brewster Academy, and also went to Iowa State, and who I developed a relationship with. And then, between TJ, Craig, and Fred Hoiberg, when I finally got to meet him and his basketball IQ and him coming from the league, I knew it was going to be the place for me. So even though there were some other schools, and I did really consider going to Harvard or going to some of these Ivy League schools, Iowa State was the perfect mix for me. Somewhere I could go, and I knew I was going to be able to focus on basketball. I was going to get an opportunity to play in a great league, and I was going to be surrounded by people who really understood the game and have an opportunity to impact right away. So for me, it was the only real decision. But there were some other that were in contention as well.
Yeah. After school, I won't front. I didn't really stick around, but the times I did in Augustine, you were dunking all the time. You were hitting every single shot. You're just putting in the work. Did you ever think during your time in high school that you would be representing your country on a national stage?
Never, man. I mean, honestly, I played basketball because I enjoyed it, because I was competitive, and really everything I did, I was just really competitive. I had came from a family with four boys growing up. I have my two sisters and my other brothers and sisters in Calgary. But growing up, it was just us four boys, and we were always super competitive with everything we did. And I just wanted to be the best. And honestly, when I was playing, a lot of people know, I started off really late. I started in the 7th, 8th grade with Malton Mavericks. And then we became CIA bounce and everything. And I was terrible. Like, honestly, I played, elementary school, and I was good at my skill. But when I got around other people, I was like, oh, I'm not good at all. And it really took a while for my development. So playing in Augustine, ninth and 10th grade, I kind of was just playing, I was playing for fun. I played, I thought maybe I could go to school in Canada on a scholarship or something. I had no idea, no aspirations of the national team or NCAA. I kind of was just playing. And as I started developing and devoting myself to the craft and playing, I started seeing all these windows open for me. And I started realizing, oh, wait, like I can play here. I am good enough to play here. And then going to the States in high school was a big, huge commitment. I never would have even dreamed about it. But then we started seeing guys like Olu Ashwolu and Junior Kadugan, Corey Joseph, DeVoe Joseph, Tristan Thompson, guys leaving during my age. And it was like, wow, like there's an avenue here. And a school came, said, we see potential in you. Me from Augustine, and I have to give big thanks to my coach Romalo at the time, who had the foresight to be like, hey, you know what, this is a great opportunity. And even though you're leaving Augustine and we'd love for you to be here and you've had a great career here so far, this is the best decision for you and you should do it. And, with his blessings and my family and everything, it was just kind of the right way to go. And I was able to go from Toronto to a small private school in St. Mary's County, Maryland, and then from Maryland to New Hampshire to Brewster Academy, where we won a national championship. I played with tons of NBA players, and this pipeline, through Brewster and was already created that I was able to go through, and where I was able to meet Iowa State and everything. So just a lot of blessings, a lot being really fortunate. But like at Augusta, I remember just sitting there dunking the ball with Kennan and just trying to jump as high as I can, shoot different shots, running around, messing around, and thinking like never in my wildest dreams would I ever think I would be representing Canada. Would I be over here in Spain or in Europe playing basketball for a living and being able to support my family and everything. So it's super fortunate, super blessed, but never. A long story short, never would have thought about that.
That's wild. That's wild. Okay, talking about the national team, last year FIBA World Cup. During one of the practices, I seen that the social media team was asking the players a question. I don't know if you remember this. They're asking players, "Oh, do you like Drake more or Ryan Reynolds more?" And the majority of players were saying Drake, which is kind of obvious answer. But Dylan Brooks, he's the only one that had a bizarre answer. He said Ryan Reynolds. Was he trolling or is he being serious?
I don't know. I mean, I honestly think that. I mean, I don't know. I don't think he was trolling. I think he might actually like Ryan Reynolds. And I don't know what his relationship with Drake is. Obviously, I'm sure they've. I'm not sure, but I would think they've met before or had some type of interaction before. And I don't know. But I mean, DB is my guy. One of the sagas I'm always gonna rock with. I love his. I love what he's about. I love what he does. And sometimes people, get rubbed the wrong way with some of his antics and things he does, but he's super genuine. Guys, he's a great guy, man. I rock with him. I ride with him, and I think it was funny because it played into a little bit of the character, that the narrative that people wanted to have. So it was just something to jump on. But I mean, who knows? I guess I have to ask him, like, for real, will you really, you really mess with Ryan Reynolds like that? Like, name a couple of his movies. You know what I mean? But it's at the end of the day, Ryan Reynolds is, he's Canadian as well, and I think he's done a lot for the country too.
Yeah, no, I thought it was comical, and yeah, man, Dylan Brooks, he balls. He was what, second team all defense last year, so yeah, he deserved to get his contract with Houston. I want to stick with the national team, a guy that you play with, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. His team's leading the Wild Wild West, number
Yeah.
one seed there. Right now, if I had to pick, I would say that he's an MVP right now because if you walk down the street, I feel like a person wouldn't be able to name off four players on that team. And he's giving you 30 a night. I just want to know, is he your MVP if you had a pick? And what about his game separates himself from the rest?
Yeah, for me, for sure, he's the MVP. We'll have to see what they decide. But I think what's so impressive is, like you said, the fact that he's able to lead this team to being first in the West when nobody even had any consideration of this team. They're a young team. He's leading young guys who've never been to this position before, and he's doing it at such a consistent level, right? He has obviously great NBA players with him as well, but people, he doesn't have that stereotypical other superstar on his team that's doing anything. But these, obviously, they have a great team and he's leading them. So, and I think that his consistency is what's been huge, which has been key. And what I think separates him is that his ability. First of all, I think his skill level, his pace is one thing that's really different. And obviously, he's doing all of this at 6'7". His length, his ability to create shots, his making shots, and I think what I love about his game is that he excels in those things that people think shouldn't be great anymore in basketball, right? Like the mid-range jump shot, or 2-point long twos, are shots now that analytics say are the worst shots to take, or aren't successful for teams, and you're seeing teams change the way and style they're playing, but he's still able to incorporate those things that are kind of, I think, fundamental to basketball, and still excel. But he's got so much. His package is so crazy. He's got handles. He's got size. He has, post moves. He can make three. His shooting ability. So I feel, and at the point guard, I think it's just a tough guard for anybody. So he's just so skilled, and I think there's a reason why he's in the MVP conversation, and I think he proved it. I think he's taken steps every year to get better, and I think that's what's been great to see.
Yeah, no, he's putting in that work, and hey man, he's the face of what's that? Kim Kardashian came out with I think it's a Skims for Men or something, and he's like the face. He's the face, him and Neymar.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
he's a
yeah,
swag
he's
man.
definitely into, yeah, definitely, into fashion, definitely into swag. I'm sure, anybody who's trying to promote anything, I think he's a great ambassador for those things, just because of the way he represents himself, and then the way he performs, and then also, he's really into that thing. So he's genuine, and he is really into fashion and style and stuff like that. So I think it just goes hand in hand. But he's clearly shown himself to be a great ambassador for all those endeavors off the court as well as on the court.
So you recently got inducted into Iowa State Basketball Hall of Fame. That's huge. Congrats. But I seen your Instagram and holy, the amount of messages you received. How heartwarming was that? And to me, the one that stood out the most was from a guy you mentioned earlier, Tristan Thompson. He he called you Captain Canada, man. Like, what was it? What did it mean for all those guys to show love?
No, it's huge. Honestly, just first of all, like I said, I never would have thought I would be inducted into a Hall of Fame. I was recently inducted in my high school, so that was an amazing accomplishment too. And then now to be in my college, I think it's just been gratifying to know that I've made the right decisions and the things that I've done. I conducted myself in the right way, and I was able to play and perform at high levels. So I always pride myself on doing the right thing, on doing the best that I can, and I felt like these were kind of validations. Like you went here, you chose the right place, you did your thing, and they're celebrating and recognizing you for, doing the best that you could. So that was always awesome, and then just to see all the messages. I mean, that's not even half of it. The messages, the text messages,
Yeah.
calls, everything I got. All the support. For playing a sport and representing a school, I think it was amazing. And yeah, from all the friends that I have who reached out, super humble, super grateful for all of them. I just just like you said, heartwarming. Obviously Tristan, he's always calling me Captain Canada. He's
Yeah.
always telling me how much I think him and other people respect and appreciate the sacrifices that I've made to represent Canada and to get to help us get to where we are now. So it's always cool. It's always cool when you get recognized or you get your roses from your peers. I think those are the people who you compete against. Those are the people who you rock out with, who you're playing with, and when you get that from them, I think it means even more that you got that respect and validation from them. Especially people who are great in their own rights and in their own communities as well. So it was definitely dope to see.
If you were to give a message to D1 athlete out there, because once you get to your NCAA institution, it's one thing, but the journey continues after. There's many distractions you could face. Of course, girls, there's so many of them. The drinking, the partying. What kept you on the right path?
I think it's all about your focus, right? And I think, like you said, at the end of the day, it's what your end goal is. It's always going to be distractions. There's always going to be parties. There's always going to be something to do. But ultimately, what's your goals? Because um, you defied a huge statistical odds by even getting into college and putting in the work to get there. And you know, the people who usually have that drive to get there usually have it to continue. And so the fact that you got yourself there is not enough. You got to continue to push yourself and to be the best that you can. And there's going to be opportunities to have fun. There's going to be opportunities to enjoy yourself and enjoy your experience. That's what college is about. But you got to keep your focus in mind. And yeah, you just got to keep your focus in mind, because honestly, you can easily get distracted, but if you have that end goal in mind, you know what you want to do, and you reach for it, you never know where you'll land. And as long as you put 100% of your effort into it, I think that, you know, you can reach it. But it's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. It's not easy, and it's super competitive. So you gotta stay locked in, because while you're chilling and partying and having a good time, someone else is working, and you know, that work is going to show in the end.
Yeah, that's the name of the game, man. Kobe done told us. Kobe done told us. When they sleeping, you gotta be working.
Yeah, you gotta put your work in. You gotta put your work in.
You got to be working. But Melvin Ejim, been a pleasure having you on. This is Jayo Sto Sports. Again, good luck the rest of the way in Spain. You're a legend. Everybody in Brampton respects you to the highest. Obviously, Iowa State has showed that love. Your college in New Hampshire showed that love. And again, I know you're a busy guy, but just you giving the time means a lot. We go way back, man. So you know I'm always rooted for you. But hey,
Appreciate
man, next time I see you, I'm gonna need some merch. I'm a medium. I'm a
it. All
medium.
right. Oh no, okay, I get some mediums. I get some mediums.
But again, y'all please like, subscribe. You already know it's Jayo Sto Sports. We are out.
All right, bro. Take it easy.